starting to get that cleaned up, in addition to meditation, is having to get your food intake real cleaned up. Like organic as much as you can. Like, is there a good health food store near you with organic produce and stuff? Mm-hmm. You need to start buying organic everything you can. Because any chemicals that you put in your body are going to affect you even more than they do an average person, because of the damage that's been done to certain centers in the brain, and also just damage, you know. And when that's happened, then the chemicals from the pesticides and things tend to lodge in the brain and continue deadening function and creating emotional reactionary energies in the body. And so to get the body cleaned up, you're actually going to need to do some fasting. But it doesn't have to be real rigorous. You need to be eating. Have you eaten much brown rice? Do you cook with brown rice?
White rice.
Brown rice. The whole grain.
Never.
Okay. You're going to have to be learning a whole new way of cooking. That's basically what. Well, now you can learn more. Hey, brown rice just takes 45 minutes as opposed to 5. You know, it's pretty simple. You boil twice as much water as you're going to cook rice. Add the rice to it, put a lid on it, turn it down, and in 45 minutes you have delicious brown rice. You know, you're going to need to be eating whole grains. You're going to need to be buying them at a health food store where you can buy them organic. And you're going to need to get on some kind of an oxygenated healing program, and I'm not sure. Don't know. Are you taking any vitamin B?
Just like your one a day.
Okay. You need to go to the health food store. Mm-hmm. You're going to be going to the health food store more than you ever have. Mm-hmm. You need to go to a health food store and get preferably a capsule type of vitamin B. And you're going to need to take, you know how it comes like in B50 and B100 and stuff like that. You're going to need to take the complex of like 100 milligrams a day. So like a B complex that says B50, you'd take 2 of those a day. Make sure you know to take B only after food, right? Okay. Pantothenic acid. I have no idea what it's for. I forget. But that's something you're going to need, and that has to do with something that has to do with assimilating something that you need for healing some of the brain patterning, some of the electromagnetics in the brain. I hope this is still good. I haven't had to take this in a long time. I'm going to give you that bottle. Just happen to remember having that. 3 a day for a week. And then just go on a straight 1 per day. Vitamin A, you need an A that has D with it. And again, all these I'd get from the health food store, so you're getting a really pure formula. Most of the synthetics, our body doesn't even know how to absorb it. I mean, they do a minimal amount of good. They don't, because the body doesn't absorb them in a way it absorbs nutrition. You know, it's strange. You're going to need 25,000 IUs of A per day that has D with it. And they come in these little soft gels. They're very inexpensive. And you can get those. There's a good local health food store here if you want to buy some of this before you go. Mountain Song is really good. There's some oxygen product, and I haven't been able to get the sense of what it is. Oh, I see. All right. This is funny. It's a vitamin C source. That's why I couldn't think of it. I didn't know that oxygenated too. It's called Emergen-C. Have you seen that in health food stores? It's written like the word emergency, only it has Emergen dash and then capital C, like the letter C. You're going to need to take 2 packets a day for 2 weeks. It comes in packages that you mix with a little water and drink it. For 2 weeks you're going to need 2 packages a day, and then to go to 1 package a day. That's the form of C that you need, and it also has like certain minerals that are really good for vitality, and and it looks like it actually oxygenates. So another form. No, that's it. Okay. All right. Now back to your mother-in-law, they say. Okay. Now say her name again. I want to see if we've got her out of your energy field.
Loretta Marie Gillison.
Say her name once more.
Loretta Marie Gillison.
Now, would you say your father's name?
My dad?
Mm-hmm.
Robert Allen McMillan.
Is he still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're supposed to get him cleaned out too.
Yeah, he didn't do well with me.
Were you afraid of him as a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was he violent at times?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you've taken on a lot of his pain,
Mm-hmm.
and you took it on so he wouldn't hurt you or your mother.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was crazy.
It was like, maybe if I take on some of his stuff, then he won't be so apt to act it out,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Right down the right side of your body, under your right breast. It's like, you've really tried to give him energy to keep him balanced so he wouldn't hurt you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it hurts.
And other people.
It's tender to touch.
Yeah, under your whole right breast and down into here. It's just full of this sort of gray, blobby looking energy of his that you've taken on.
And he'd give it to me, too.
Mm-hmm.
If you wouldn't do this, I wouldn't have to beat up your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You've cleared your contracts about it. You just haven't gotten all his energy out of there. Do you still smoke?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's aggravating some of the problems.
I've just, in the last 4 months, I've noticed where it's aggravating.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it.
That's because you're starting to get enough cleared out that you can tell.
So I just watched this documentary and they talked about not quitting cold turkey anymore. How that's not good and to cut back.
Mm-hmm. You know, they have herbal cigarettes too.
I just saw
some
that, smoker's
people,
tea.
yeah, some people will work on that, work with that. Also, the vitamin C and B can help with the withdrawal symptoms a lot. As soon as you start on this extra C and B, immediately start cutting back. Like, my guess is you could probably cut at least in half
Mm-hmm.
when you start taking those.
Mm-hmm. Well, I went from 2 packs a day to 1.
Uh-huh.
So
So it's time to cut down to half. How many cigarettes are in a pack?
20.
Okay, I was told 10 a day is what you'd cut back to, so that 8 to 10. Yeah.
It's so frightening because it's just such a crutch.
Mm-hmm. It's a health issue though now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the energies are building in your body, and what they do is they can actually attract and hold these dark energies from people like your mother-in-law and your father in your body. So getting them out, it's like if you don't kind of start doing what you, and it's not from a place of guilt, I'm just saying, you know, you're going to need to do what you need to do to change your energy field so that there's nothing that they can access anymore. See, divine intervention is always given in direct proportion to a person's willingness to help themselves, and the council won't give intervention when someone won't do their part.
That just boomed in my head.
I mean, they'll do a lot for us, but we have only when we're doing our part too. Say your father's name again.
Robert Allen McMillan.
Okay, that cleared a lot. How does it feel over in here now? Can you feel a shift?
Still tender.
Yeah.
It feels like my muscle got
The
bruised.
tissue, yeah. Run some light through there and see if we can get it to some healing. You've done a good job at clearing your contracts about all this. I'm not running into any of those to do. what it is, Cindy, is his energy is just totally blocking your female channels. There are channels in the body that have to do with the flowing of the endocrine system, or, our female hormones and stuff. And he's just like glommed in your female channels. Like you've been trying to use your female energy to heal him so he won't hurt people. And
that's been there for a long time.
I'm wanting to teach you about the female energy channels and how to keep them clear and run them, but I'm being told I can't do that today because the other things we have to do are priority. But sometime I'd like to do that, and it's a meditation. I haven't ever taught you that, have I? Female channels. That's something you're going to need to know because it's just an area you need to start owning for yourself. But I can't do it today. Now how's it feeling in there?
Good. I feel taller.
That's not surprising. You've got more space. See if I think even some of the soreness may be better. It's still pretty tender.
No.
Not like it was.
No.
Yeah.
I can push on it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't before.
Mm-hmm. It should continue to get better now. I'm going to kind of leave some healing energy in there. Guides are kind of laughing at me. They're saying, leave it now. You've done what you can do for now. Now say your father's name, please.
Robert Allen McMillan.
Okay. Well, he can be vampire-like too. Just like your mother-in-law.
What?
There's some places where he's kind of just some pain in your space from where he's been in there a lot. It's more of his energy that comes in through the back of the heart down to the third. I want to get him pulled out of there. I just keep seeing like his sexual energy in your space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real yucky energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just.
He never had good energy. I don't remember him. If you wanted a good memory, I couldn't come up with one.
I mean, I'm not seeing pictures about him actually physically molesting you, but I don't know if he ever did or not. He just, that's the nature of the energy of his. It's like, it's real.
Well, I remember one time I caught him making out with another woman. and Alice. Thick energy.
Mm-hmm. Now say his name again.
Robert Allen McMillan.
There's some programming in your energy field I'm being told to clear out. It goes kind of right across your face and up in the left side of your brain. It's from your dad, and it's him telling you that you'll never get away from the family, that you're just like them, you're part of them, and you can't outgrow them. It's just kind of like, you're just like the rest of us, you're no better than anybody else, and, you know. Okay, now we've got to pull the energy back from your mother-in-law. Archangel Michael is going to do that. I'm being told just to hold the space and kind of send out the energy. And Archangel Michael is going to go and he's going to be overseeing it, because some of the energy she's taken has gotten real kind of distorted and messed up. So it can't just be returned to you, or it would be real screwy. So he's going to kind of monitor that. Okay, now here's the first. Okay, so take a deep breath. Some of it's starting to come back up now. second wave coming. So just take a nice deep breath and uncross your hands right now so you can just be real receptive and just let the next come in. That was a nice piece, huh? I'm doing some clearing around your first chakra area, around it's fear and pain from abuse. Some of the energy that's coming in belongs in that area, but it can't go in because of what's there blocking it. So if you could breathe all the way down to the base of your spine and see if you can open and soften that area. How are you feeling right now?
Tingly.
Yeah, it's a lot changing.
I can feel it in certain places.
Archangel Michael with other guides of yours is going to be also retrieving energy of yours that's been taken by your mother and your father and members of your family, and I just get the sense that over the next week you're going to be gradually getting little pieces of yourself back from different places, and but it's just that some of them that they're retrieving kind of have to be healed and reconstituted, so to speak, before they can be brought in, because they've been damaged by the people who've taken the energy. And but there's nothing else you need to do on it right now. It's just going to be an ongoing process. So I'm going to... Okay. Well, I saw this image above your head, and it was like a document that said divine intervention. It was like a symbol and all this sparkly energy. And I thought, oh, now is this some kind of a trick or something? Because they don't do it that way. So I adjusted the frequencies and went up to the higher council and told them what I was there for. And they just kind of grinned, and they said, Archangel Michael brought divine intervention down for her a month ago. She just needed to get the old cleaned out. And it's just like, we needed to be physically together to activate it. But it's already there. So they're just kind of laughing at me for not believing it. Is there any other message for Cindy at this time? And I just, no, the messages have been given and they're clear, and the intervention is complete, and they said it's because you've been asking for it. That you may not have known the term to ask for, but you've been asking for that kind of help, and that they, over a month ago, they granted it, and it just took getting away from North Dakota and then us being together to activate it completely. So, anyway, okay. Do you have other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. There's one other thing they want me to work on, but I wanted to make sure that you had, whatever you needed to take care of, taken care of. There's a thing where when we are not safe to respond in a natural way, that we create these kind of pathways in the brain that create negative behaviors, or ones that just don't serve us anymore. And when they're created, it usually has to do with survival. Well, what I'm being shown is 3 of these pathways in your brain that need healing at this time. And they're connected with belief in victimhood and powerlessness. And it has to do with, there are ways in which we have the receiving centers of the brain, that like if you see dark energy coming toward you, the natural thing that should be happening is you get the input, you interpret it, and then you respond by pushing it away. Well, when you're in an environment where you can't do that and feel like you can survive, then the normal brain patterning gets interrupted. So instead of the impulse coming in and just going right through the brain like it's supposed to, it comes in, and instead of being able to respond naturally, there's a gap in the thinking process. And then it goes over and you create a whole new functioning pattern where you do something that's unnatural to do. And then this whole new brain pattern gets created, and it's slower, and it's it just interferes with normal brain response. you know. Well, there are 3 of those that have to do with normal response mechanisms of when you see something dark, there's a tendency to contract and just take it in because you feel like you have no choice. And I need to undo those brain patternings. Okay, I see them. This is something that the audience has just taught me to do in the last month to 6 weeks. It's an incredible process. Have you heard of neural pathways?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what we're doing is deactivating unhealthy neural pathways and reconnecting healthy ones in a matter of a few minutes. It's kind of an amazing thing. When they started showing me, I said, "Oh, you can't do this. It's more complicated than that." And they're saying, "No, you just have to know what's needed." The one I'm working on right now is a neural pathway that in times when you're being told to do something that you know is wrong, and feeling like if you say no, you'll be hurt worse than if you say yes. And so even though you know what's going on is wrong, it has to do with not having the power to say no without being afraid of getting hurt more. Do you find yourself still having the tendency to do that sometimes, like saying yes when you know you don't mean it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's when you need to really catch yourself on now. I mean, I'm clearing out the neural pathway, but you need to really make sure that if you start to have a tendency to do it again, that you just change it the moment you catch yourself. Do you have problems with car fumes?
Car fumes?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. Other than I like them.
Oh, see, that's an allergy. If there's some carbon monoxide poisoning in this particular pathway, when you like it, don't give in to that like. You shouldn't be pumping your own gas.
I just did too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're allergic to those fumes, and until you start getting more of this stuff cleared out of your system, they can actually intensify some of the allergic symptoms. A lot of the allergies you have are ones that don't have typical type of symptoms. They're one that create brain patternings and emotional response. And those you don't even know are allergies. You have more of that than you realize. And so car fumes and exhaust fumes, gasoline, those are things you should stay completely away from, because the attraction to it is an allergic attraction, not a healthy one. It's slowing down this pathway. Normally, a brain should, once it receives an impulse, it should just go, it's just almost split second. This one kind of goes like that. And I'm trying to get it all cleaned up and ask what this was about, and it said carbon monoxide and fuel fumes. It's opening up more now. Electrical energy through there. So it's going to open more with just some of the nutritional stuff we talked about. This other pathway is about keeping secrets, denial stuff. Like, if you know something that one person says and how you're supposed to keep it secret from somebody else, it's from your childhood, things that nobody was supposed to know. So it's a lot of secrecy and even some deception in it. About the only way to keep everything safe and not have everybody hurting each other all the time is to kind of keep things secret. And it still makes it hard for you to just share things easily at times, And this pathway just kind of is like saying, well, people just want to know what they want to know. They don't want to know the truth.
Some of the people I know.
Yeah.
One in particular.
Okay. I was going to the Akashics, and I was given an umbrella, but it was a magic umbrella like Mary Poppins had. And it had to do with taking yourself lightly at times, and the power of magic in a positive way. And the other one I saw was just like, it's as if you stepped under a cold waterfalls, or somebody poured a bunch of cold water on you, and you just kind of like, whew, you know. But instead of responding to it like with shock or fear or anger, responding to it from like laughing. It has to do with taking things lightly, seeing the humor behind the negative, and bouncing back. So those are some of the energies that are kind of coming through from your soul banks right now to help you in your next stages of process. I like the Mary Poppins umbrella.
I love that movie.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid or teenager. I forget. Whenever it came out, I saw it. I haven't seen it since then.
It's just magical.
I haven't even thought about that in so many years. I can't imagine. But I just saw this image of this umbrella sort of like floating up and like, you know.